Michelle, are you ready?
I was born ready.
She spent over 20 years as a successful realtor and realtor coach, recipient of over 40 sales, leadership, and literary awards from the legendary Music Row in Nashville. This is The Power of Real Estate with Michelle Moore.
All right, and welcome to today's show. I've got to share, I'm really excited about today's show. We've got just really a great show planned for you. Producer Jimmy, we're always joking about how it's always a great show. But today, I'm excited. We got Chris Lowry in the studio. He's a general manager for Burns Insurance Group. Hey there, how you doing?
Doing awesome.
How
Thank you, Michelle.
You ever watch Friends on Joey on Friends? It's like, how you doing? Anybody that would be too young, just forget it, or at least get Netflix. My husband and I did that a couple years ago. We went through all of the episodes on Friends.
Oh, wow.
On Netflix. It took us like almost a year.
It's a lot of binging.
I know. Well, it took us a year. It was all right. A show here or there, but you got to think about how many years they were on there. All right. So we got Chris Lowry here. He's a general manager for Burns Insurance Group. I got to say, the last time he was here, we talked about fact or myth, and I've come up with some more stuff.
All right.
All right. You ready?
Let's do it.
Are you sure?
Always.
We're going to make this a game, and so we're going to call Stump the Chump, and you're the chump. No, I'm kidding. All right, so fact or myth, this would be a little bit of fun. It's always interesting to me. The last time you were here, I learned a ton of information. And so, and I love learning. So it was really good to know that things have changed sometimes. Sometimes we, in the insurance industry, just like any other industry, you have changes that happen. So I was surprised about some things that I learned last time. And so I really have no idea what these answers are. So it's a fun little game. Fact or myth? Number one, having a low credit score can negatively impact your rates. Is that true for your homeowner's insurance specifically?
Michelle, again, another great question. You're doing good with these.
Hey, it's years of questions from buyers and sellers, builders and investors.
The credit question is consistent. It's really impactful across all facets of our life now. And so the answer here would be yes, that is a fact. Without going too deep into what the underwriters and the analytics are behind it, yes.
They are looking at that credit score.
They are. The better the score, the better your rate.
Wait a minute. You mean the better the score, it's not the lower the rate?
Yeah.
So it's the lower the rate. So it's going to be, or the higher the rate. So it's going to impact you financially. So it's always important to take a look at that credit score and see what's going on and try and keep your score up when you're getting your insurance bids and all that kind of stuff, that you will be negatively impacted if you have bad credit.
Yeah, and I'll give you an example. We look at it as what we call an insurance score, but very simply what that is it's looking at your insurance history, continuous coverage, any claims or incidents, as well as the credit piece. And all of that rolled up gives us a number that we use behind the scenes in the algorithm, if you will.
Okay, well, that makes sense. Okay, so if you got bad credit, it is worthwhile to try and get it brought back up. All right, makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. All right. So fact or myth, we're talking with Chris Lowry here. He's a general manager for Burns Insurance Group. They're a big insurance agency that happens to do a ton of business with Allstate Insurance. And so he's a good authority on what insurance, really just the insurance industry is doing altogether when it comes to the real estate business. As a real estate agent, I have gotten years of questions from buyers or sellers, even potential sellers, that will ask me all kinds of questions about homeowners insurance. So, and builders and investors, different things come up. So as real estate agents, we need to know these things, especially if we're showing a home to buyers and we're saying, hey, here's a great thing that might be, only half a mile from the fire department. Mm-hmm. Hey, this might help you on your insurance rate that you're going to get on this home. On the flip side, as a listing agent, I would want to know if I had a listing that's a mile from the fire department, for example, is that going to help me with, or help the new buyer on their insurance rates? Because that might be a nice positive selling feature of this home to bring up. Yeah, it's a slight advantage possibly for you. So as a real estate agent, these insurance questions are good to know the answers to, you know? All right, so we're talking about these homeowners insurance questions. And so number 2, fact or myth, being a young boy getting car insurance negatively impacts your car insurance rates versus being a girl.
So again, we've talked about this in times past. There may have been a time where, there was a distinguishing fact between gender. But that would be a myth anymore.
All right, so it's just a little side note here.
No, there are some things to look at on that, but
grades?
Things you can do help. Yep. So
grades do help?
Having your grades and then taking a defensive driver course are the two things you can do to help.
Okay.
But
all right.
Boys tend to get a bad rap.
I know. I hear you. All right, back to homeowners insurance rates. Roof. Does the age of the roof matter?
Yes. Take Tennessee, for example. 80 to 85% of all homeowners' claims tend to be roof damage, strictly because of the wind and hail that we experience here in this state.
That's true. That's true.
Having said that, the newer the roof, at least with Allstate looks at the roof. The newer the roof, the lower the rate.
Now, that's my impression is that isn't across the whole industry, though, that Allstate does that, but not necessarily does everybody do that.
You're exactly right. Yeah,
okay.
Not everyone factors in the age of the roof. Not everyone's doing replacement cost on roofs anymore. So folks really want to dig into their policy and check and make sure that they understand what they're buying. Just because your policy is the cheapest doesn't always mean it's the best.
Sure.
Yep.
Well, I would say that getting your insurance is like the same kind of process as when you're looking at doing a mortgage. You want to make sure that you're comparing apples to apples.
You would think. Unfortunately, on the insurance side of things, the industry has become very commoditized. Whether it's, 15 minutes can save you X, Y, Z. And the advent of folks going online to buy their own insurance, it pays to have a professional helping you.
Yeah.
And not just saying that because I'm in the business, but I have seen and worked with countless folks who come from a situation where they may have chose the insurance on their own, shopped it themselves, found themselves greatly in need. So.
Well, here's what I would say. I bet everybody would agree the minute that they have a claim.
Precisely.
Exactly. And then they agree with you.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
All right, I got one more. Fact or myth? Does the age of the home matter?
It's going to be a fact. Yeah,
okay.
It's going to be a fact. So I know this is probably consistent across the board in all parts of the country. It's great to have a quote-unquote historical home, a home that may have been built in the late 1800s, even early 1900s. Mm-hmm. Fact of the matter remains, though, is that the age of that home is going to impact the rate of insurance.
That makes sense.
There are inherent benefits with having new construction. Now, not every home is going to be new construction. There's a lot of great, tremendous homes out there. But yeah, the older the home, regardless of how much renovation has been successfully completed there, is going to have an impact.
Yeah, I learned that a few years ago with an investor, rehabber, builder client of mine. We took the home down to foundation, and but we kept the foundation.
Yeah.
Everything else was gone. And when it came time to list the home in RealTracs, we still had to put the original date that the home was built, not the new date. And so, that decision of not completely bulldozing and taking out that foundation will impact that homeowner, the home buyer, on their insurance rates. That's interesting. Okay.
And real estate agents want to remember that, especially in today's market where we have so many folks trying to flip properties. That's something to keep in mind.
Well, and I would say also that would be a good selling feature, that if you are listing that property and you know that the property, we took out the foundation and the whole thing, the whole kit and caboodle, and it's going to be a brand new home all the way through, and your build date or your year of it being built was going to be it's going to be now instead of 100 years ago, then now that as a real estate agent, your insurance rates are potentially for that buyer is going to be potentially much less, or at least impacted positively.
Right.
So it's going to help bring that down. That's something to include, I would think, on your MLS descriptions or talking with the showing agent, something, or a flyer that you put in a flyer box or inside the home.
Tremendous
I'd
point.
be talking about that during the time that you're walking through the home, because, or talking with other agents that are going to be showing the property, because that's another buying benefit, just like if you're close to the fire department, like we were talking about. And so all of those are things that can positively impact potentially a buyer purchasing and deciding to purchase that home that you've got listed. So
that's what
another
you want
positive.
To do, is stack those positives for your client.
Yeah, I call it stacking the cool, or it's the law of accumulation.
There you go.
All right. And look, if you got any real estate questions, comments, compliments, whatever you want to send, you can always send those to me. You can email them to me at michelle@realestatecoachingsimplified.com. And by the way, if you haven't heard, there's a brand new National Realtor designation. It's called the RESP designation. It stands for Real Estate Selling Professional. professional. I'm the creator and the author of the program, and I'm excited about it. It's a great course. It's fabulous. I noticed a lot of real estate agents didn't know how to sell, and every realtor needs to know how to sell. So I decided that I was going to put all those awards and all that experience that I've got to work. And make a difference. So check out the details at the website, realestatecoachingsimplified.com. You can click on the upper right-hand corner that says RESP at the very top of the bar up there of the website, and check it out. There's all different kinds of details, and see if potentially RESP is coming to your area. We just booked a new booking in Alabama. Coming up this fall. So we're excited about that. Hey, and don't ever miss a show. You can go to iTunes, Google Play, or iHeartRadio to subscribe. And we'll see you next time on The Power of Real Estate with Michelle Moore.
Realtors, if you're ready to jumpstart your business, Michelle has your realtor coaching covered at realestatecoachingsimplified.com. Everything from coaching online teachings to in-person programs. Join us next time for The Power of Real Estate with Michelle Moore.